since I've done that intro. I wanted it. I missed it. How are y'all? I'm sorry that I look so tired. I just woke up and I'm trying to get a few things filmed before we have to leave for the day. We actually have a very busy day ahead of us. But you don't want to hear about that. You want to hear about my experience with therapy so far, because that's what I titled this video. I want to talk about my first couple months with a new therapist. Obviously, I'm not going to say any names, and I'm gonna kind of go through like what my process was of finding a therapist, and then what my experience has been like so far. For some background, I had a really poor experience with therapy the first 3 or 4 times I did it. So I've tried going to therapy. I got forced into it when I was young. When I was about 16, my dad had passed away, and my school made me go to therapy, and I just was really closed off, not ready for it. And also it was like a Catholic counselor person, and obviously that didn't like resonate. So that didn't work out. And then I tried going to therapy again in my early 20s. I saw a therapist, kind of like said my life story, and they were just like, I don't know, they seemed overwhelmed by it. And we just didn't have like a good vibe. So that didn't work out. And then last fall I tried therapy again. Well, I went to Ashley's a therapist for a lot of gender things and anxiety and some other stuff. And we went to a session together just so he could understand what I'm like, and that he had some context and stuff. But I found that session actually super helpful. So it kind of had sparked my interest to like try it again. I had a much better attitude about therapy this time around. Also with Ash being so like positive about therapy and wanting to like help, and I had all these gender things that I wanted to figure out. I found a therapist and I started working with her, and it was pretty good for the first like a few sessions. We talked about a lot of gender things and we kind of had worked on it, but in the end I realized that we didn't really have the best chemistry. And her therapy style, it was really a lot about relating everything like back to her life and providing with like relatable experiences, and that's not really what I need to that's not what I personally find validating. That just ended up not being, again, like the best fit. You know, I knew I wanted to have top surgery, so I actually ended up finding a new therapist. My first few months with therapy have been a lot better. And let me tell you about how I actually came to find this therapist. Before, I just kind of like contacted a person at an office and was like, hey, can you please connect me with somebody? I didn't really do a ton of research like in my early years. I just like kind of figured that most therapists were the same, which is not true at all. And that it was going to, like, I was gonna have the same experience no matter what. And that's just like, I think, ignorance on my behalf. Seeing how successful therapy could be with Ash, like, is what really drove me to do this. But Ash really helped me out a lot. I did a lot of research. We like specifically researched LGBT friendly with an emphasis in like gender and trans friendly therapists that have like a specialty and want to help those types of folks. Also people that have dealt with trauma. So having trauma experience plus, you know, LGBT like interest, and that was a harder fit to find. That also had like availability, because availability is like the other thing, like you want to be able to see them regularly. So it took a few weeks, and I was a little discouraged at the time, honestly, like because it was taking me longer than I really wanted to find somebody. So my therapist now, it took a couple weeks, but we got on a schedule. I finally got like something scheduled, and it was for 2 weeks later. So all in all, that process took like a month. The first session, I just kind of like brain dumped, you know, on everything that's kind of been going on. And then one thing that I worked on was saying, like, I don't really know where to start. Like, I don't really know what I want to work on right away. I've kind of learned to be a little bit more honest and like a little bit more forthcoming with stuff. And also when it comes to like not knowing what I want to talk about, or not knowing how I feel about something, or not understanding when she brings up like a point that she thinks might be helpful. Like if I think if I'm not quite getting it, I feel like comfortable enough to like say something and to like have that dialogue, which I think has made it a lot more successful. So I'm really excited to see where it goes. There's moments where I feel like I didn't have like the most productive session, or I feel like I said something that was maybe not wrong, but just maybe like I wasn't like as clear of a thought as I wanted to. So I try to make like a point to talk about that at the next session, or like to voice it so that I don't feel any negativity about it. Like, let's just get it out in the open. Let's talk about it, because this is like a safe space. And she's like done a really good job about telling me that I'm allowed to like either like disagree or bring things up that I wasn't happy about. Like, all of those things are okay topics. None of those are bad. Those are just ways that we can improve our communication. So overall, my experience with therapy has dramatically changed. I'm super happy now, and I'm finding it really helpful. Yeah, I just want to start like talking about mental health a little bit more openly and feel the ability to remove some of that stigma again, and just be like therapy positive. So yeah, anyway, cool. If you have any like good resources for folks to like find good therapists or anything like that, leave them in the comments down below. I think that would be super helpful. Yeah, thanks so much. Splish Splash Waterfall. Give a dog a bone. Bye.